2022 or 2002, I think. By the way, before he became president, he was a multi-millionaire peanut farmer. Are you guys here? So in other words, there is still something beyond being president. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
That has acclamation, that has recognition, but they recognized him as a man who truly reflected God. Am I right? And so how come you are satisfied and you're not even president of your local government? Guys, let me tell you something. What I'm bringing to you tonight is a very simple message. That the biggest way you can position yourself for God's blessing is to be obedient to God. In spite of your circumstances. When I was a younger pastor, they used to tell me that if you didn't pay your tithe last week, and you decided to bring it to church next week, you should add 20%. How many of you have heard that before? I don't teach it in this church. I'm a terrible teacher. Come on, talk to me now. Who heard that before? AJ, you will heard that one before. Pastor Isaac, you would have even preached it. Who heard that before? So many years ago, I went to Apple to buy an iPhone. And when I got there, I walked up to the guy and I said, can I have a glass protector for my iPhone? They looked at me and they said, our phone is good enough without a glass protector. We don't have backups for our phone like that. Now, this is the problem. God could never ask you to add 20%, which means he has given you permission to default. Am I making sense? No, he was talking about those who were transporting and changing their goods. He said, if you have, for instance, if you have 1,000 cattle to give to the Lord, am I making sense? In Lagos, and you want to come and give it to the Lord in Ibadan, he says change your 1,000 cattle to cash, then add 20% and bring it to Ibadan. Am I making sense? That's what he was saying. Of course, you know he wasn't talking about Lagos or Ibadan. Am I making sense? He wasn't giving us an option. The minute you have an option to sin, it means God is not as righteous as he says. There is no backup with God. God is so perfect that there is no backup. Am I making sense? Do you think God sent another person after Jesus just in case Jesus didn't make it? I don't know if I'm making any sense. So there's a place, and this is what I'm trying to get across to you. There's a place for you and I right now to understand that what made Jesus successful was that the Bible said he was obedient to the point of death. And yet, on the other hand, what stopped the children of Israel from entering into the land was disobedience. What brought Eve and Adam out of the Garden of Eden was what? You know, when I was in Jesus' Embassy, I had an assistant pastor called Professor Olatubosu.